Good morning. I have a little buddy here this morning. Can you say hi?
Hi.
And today for Bible, we are continuing on with King Saul and trusting God. So let's review a little bit. We're going to start by playing a game. And if we were this is a true-false game. And do you remember how in class we would go to different corners of the room? That's what this game is. But since you're at home, you can do two things. One, you could stand up if it's true and stay seated if it's false. Or you could write down a T or an F. T for true, F for false. So here's the first one. The Israelites were content with God as their king. Is that true? If it's true, stand up. If it's false, it's not true, stay seated. To know this one, you might have to know the word content means happy or pleased. And the answer is false. So hopefully you stayed seated. Number 2, the Israelites demanded to be given a human king. Did you stand up? It's true. They demanded a human king, even though that wasn't part of God's plan. The Israelites wanted to be different than any other nation. Stay seated. That one's false. They were looking at the people around them. Number 4, God refused to give them a king. That's not true. It's false. So hopefully you stayed seated. God gave them exactly what their hearts desired. Number 5, Samuel was very sad that the people wanted a king. Did you stand up? That one's true. He knew that was disobeying God. Number 6, God gave the Israelites what they wanted. That's true. Hopefully standing up. Number 7, God told Samuel to warn the Israelites about what a human king would do to them. That one's also true. Number 8, the Israelites waited patiently and trusted in God's plan. They did not. That one's false. Number 9, unlike the Israelites, we can trust God with our whole heart. Say it again. Why is it false?
Yeah.
Good question. The Israelites did not wait patiently and trust God's plan. Number 9, unlike the Israelites, we can trust God with our whole heart. Is that true?
Yeah.
You know that's true. Absolutely. We can trust God with our whole heart. Our memory verse is from the book of Proverbs, which is filled with sayings that are true about life. So here's our memory verse, and hopefully you've been practicing it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5a. Well, yesterday we learned that after God freed the Israelites from slavery, brought them out of Egypt, provided for them in the desert, and gave them the promised land, the Israelites rejected God as their king. And I said yesterday, but really, it's last week. God promised to show Samuel the man he had chosen to be the people's king. And the man was Saul. God chose Saul to be king. And this can help us remember Saul was tall. This is kind of a funny illustration, isn't it?
Who's those?
That one I think is supposed to be Saul, who God chose as king, and that must be some of the Israelites looking up to him. The Bible says that Saul was almost a head taller than all the other men. That is how God made it clear to Samuel that Saul was God's choice for king. Saul was looking for his father's lost donkeys and could not find them anywhere. So Saul's servant told Saul to go ask the prophet Samuel if he could help him find donkeys. When Saul arrived to ask Samuel the question, the Lord told Samuel, Saul should be king. Anoint his head with oil. Look at this picture. It almost looks like he's pouring honey on his head, doesn't it? Or mustard or something. Let's find out why. Samuel anointed Saul's head with oil, which means he poured oil on him as a symbol to show that Saul was God's chosen king. Samuel told Saul that when it was time for Saul to start leading, God's Spirit would come upon him. Isn't that amazing? And Saul would become a great leader. Saul was probably shocked and surprised. He didn't think of himself as a king, but he was going to have to trust that God would help him lead the Israelites. Saul would need to trust God to help him lead. And that's our character trait this week, is trust. Trust is knowing God's way is the best way and staying patient even when we don't understand God's plan. See you tomorrow for Bible. That's all for today. Love you.